Now, it was very important to get this video out to you guys because you are underestimating Captain America significantly. I ranked him top of S tier, best Vanguard in the game by far, and I got some feedback for that. And in today's video, I'm going to try my best to explain why I feel this way. I'm going to be giving you guys my approach to playing him, the do's, the don'ts, the positives, the negatives, you know, what he's great against, what he's weak against, things like that. So if you enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe for more Vanguard content. Like I said, this playstyle helped get me to Celestial, so this is my Captain America Masterclass. I hope you enjoy. Now, to start things off, let's go ahead and talk about Captain America's abilities and where that places him amongst the Vanguard role. First up, we have his primary, Sentinel Strike. Now, Sentinel Strike is essentially a two-part attack involving 2 melee attacks as well as 4 shield throws. The way it works is this: after you successfully perform 2 punches or 2 melee attacks, you go into shield throw mode. While in this mode, it lasts 5 seconds. You will throw your shield up to 4 times at an enemy. Now, the regular melee attacks deal 40 damage within 4 meters, while the shield throw does 45 damage within 25 meters. Now, next up in another one of his abilities that make him very strong is Leading Dash. Now, Leading Dash increases his movement speed by 33.4%, basically making him really, really fast. However, it also gives him the ability to jump 5 meters into the air. Now, considering you can toggle this ability, it's very rare that I have it turned off. I try to keep it on as long as possible just because I think it's really good to always be able to move that fast. It also directly correlates with another one of his abilities, Super Soldier Slam. With this ability, as long as you're 20 meters from the ground, you're able to slam on the ground, dealing 30 damage to those around you and launching them into the air. It's also a very, very good movement ability as well. This ability also has a 12-second cooldown. Following his slam ability, the other movement ability or ability that he has that can double as a movement ability is called Liberty Rush. With this, Captain America dashes only forward. He can't dash up or backwards or anything like that. He dashes forward 12 meters and does 30 damage to any unfortunate target that just so happens to be in his path. This ability also has a 10-second cooldown. Believe it or not, Captain America also has a shield. As of right now, season 1.5, the current shield health is at 400, and it has a 1-second cooldown or 1-second timer for when you put it down. Now, a really strong property the shield has is that it's able to direct or redirect enemy projectiles back at them. So things like Hela ult, Iron Man ult, Groot ult, or just regular everyday projectiles that they may shoot at you, you can redirect them back at the enemy. The only thing is you can't really aim it, so it's kind of random where they go and how they land. A couple more things about his shield. One, if you're not using it, it takes 2 seconds to regain any shield health. It regains at 50 per second. If the shield gets destroyed, it's going to take 5 seconds in order for you to be able to use it again. And any damage that you do reflect back at the enemy is only going to do half. It's only doing 50% of the damage that it receives. Now, the last ability we're going to get to before we get to his busted ultimate is Vibranium Energy Saw. Now, Vibranium Energy Saw is an ability where Cap throws his shield and it ricochets up to 3 times. He's able to throw it up to 25 meters. The first time it hits, it will deal 70 damage, and then that drops off by 20% each time it hits an additional target. And then this ability has a 8-second cooldown. Now we get to his ultimate Freedom Charge, and Freedom Charge does a lot of different things. So I'm gonna do my best to dumb it down and then try to explain this to you. But before I get into any of that, in order for you as an ally or any of your allies as the Cap player to get the effect, you or they have to be within 4 meters of you. I'm just going to say that it's kind of confusing where that area of effect is, but just as long as you're within 4 meters of them, you should get the effect. All right. So off rip, the ability gives you and your teammates a 30% movement speed boost. Additionally, it gives yourself as the Cap player a 150 burst heal and your allies 100 health burst heal. That then drops to 100 for yourself and 60 for your teammates every second for the next 10 seconds, which is the duration of the ultimate. And it also forgot to mention that you're able to push back enemies when using his ultimate as well. It's really cool, really underused ability, but if you have your shield up while using his ultimate, you're able to push people back, and it's actually very strong. So basically, you give everyone the super soldier serum. Like, you're stronger, they're stronger, they move faster, you heal them. It's great, it's a wonderful time. But the main thing about this is that Cap basically becomes immortal for 10 seconds. If you use it correctly, and assuming you don't just get, the enemy doesn't get damage boosted and they're not all just focusing on you, whatever the case may be, you essentially cannot die during this ultimate. And that's where the strength and the craziness really comes from this ultimate. So now that we're done with the formalities, where does this place Cap within the Vanguard role? Well, he's a dive tank. He ambushes and abuses the backline. And what that means to me is that what he does and how he contributes to the fights and to the games might not always correlate to the scoreboard. And I'm going to explain to you what I mean by that. There are two things that I think Cap does better than any of the other dive Vanguards. And that is force the enemy supports to react. That might be with a cooldown, with an ultimate, or flat out stop healing their teammates. And the second thing is surviving. Now, if you haven't seen my Vanguard tier list for the ones currently in the game, I have Cap at the very top. I have him S tier, and this is why. If you dive the backline and you take the attention of one support, great. It's awesome. But oftentimes you're going to take the attention of both, which means that on the front line, the fight basically becomes a 5v4 in your team's favor. And also, they're not getting healed as the enemy. That's very powerful and very crazy. Due to his speed and movement and shield and everything he's able to do, he can oftentimes survive and keep up in that 2v1 and make it out alive. This is creating opportunity for your team to make plays, etc., etc. Now, I'm not saying I'm perfect by any means. My niche is more of the brawly shield type tanks, but there's something about the way Captain America is played that really resonates with me, and I feel confident and proud at what I'm able to do with him as a dive tank. Another aspect of his kit is how you can't really run from him unless you're Spider-Man. But every part of him enhances his movement speed. This dude is a freaking animal, and rightfully so. He's on the super soldier serum. Also, his energy saw is nuts. You're able to throw it off the ground, hit multiple targets. If someone's flying, you can throw it off the wall, hit him in the air. It's honestly very broken. If you're low health, he will hunt you down and stagger you. Now, something I tend to do all the time is how do I word this? When I'm trying to initiate a fight, I like to jump in the air. I'm always jumping. I'm always jumping. I'm just looking for opportunity to sneak in somewhere. But as I'm jumping, I like to throw my saw, hit whoever I hit, do that little bit of damage, ground slam, and then go into my combo that way. Now, when it comes to actually performing the dive itself, I recommend that you don't expend both your shield bash and your ground slam. You should always have one of those off cooldown. Now, why is that? Because you want to have an escape. You don't want to be in a situation where you use all your abilities to get in, and now you're stuck with none to escape when you need to. This is bad because you don't want to just unnecessarily feed, and worst case scenario, you don't want to get eliminated. Now, there are a few situations where I think it's okay to use both, and that would be one, you're by health packs, because again, he can control health packs like no other Vanguard in the game. Two, you're trying to get an elimination, because if you do die eliminating a support, it's a fair trade, and oftentimes you're going to be able to beat them back from spawn. And then three, if you have your ultimate, just because his ultimate essentially makes him immortal for the 10 seconds. When you're playing Cap, always be moving, always be attacking from off angles or just weird angles that causes the enemy to turn around or reposition. And if you're working together as a team, he can rack up eliminations like crazy. Now, let's say you guys don't, or whatever the case may be, he still does enough damage to get a reaction out of the enemy. And if they don't react, then you're going to get free kills, and that's extremely free value. It's just extreme free value. Also, the fact that his shield is able to redirect projectiles and things that he's weak into, which I'll get into here in the next topic or next section of the video. But things like Mantis Sleep or Luna Freeze or even Penny Parker to a degree, he's able to redirect all that and just basically say, I don't care, I'm blocking it. Now, it's incredibly powerful, incredibly strong, because a lot of Vanguards can't do that, at least in the dive category. Like, traditionally, that's not so you have to just eat that, and that's why you're weak into it. But he isn't, and that's pretty powerful. And it should, to some degree, encourage you to try him even more. Nearing the end of the video here, if your goal is to stop dive, typically you go an anti-dive or a bunker comp, and that will typically handle everything. In Marvel Rivals, that consists of the Thing, Penny Parker, Luna, Namor, Mantis, you name it. Characters with abilities that stun you or prevent you from wanting to go a certain direction or flat out make you not want to engage at all. This is really powerful against dive because dive characters are all about their movement, their ability to get in and get out, and this anti-dive bunker type playstyle really stops you from being able to use any of your movement abilities, or just stops you from being able to engage at all. Now, I think Cap's the best Vanguard to do this, and I cannot stress this enough, but for a few different reasons. One being his movement. He's able to jump in and out of Penny's mines and trigger them without taking any damage, which is crazy in of itself. Secondly, his shield, like I said, he can deflect Luna and Mantis's CC back at them. But the point is, he's able to block it to where it doesn't have any effect on him. And then thirdly, with Namor, I don't really see Namor that big of a threat for him specifically. Best case scenario, whatever, however you want to word it, he's taking the attention of the squids, but he's able to, use health packs to where it doesn't really affect him too much. But while he is taking the attention of the squids, it gives your DPS the opportunity to go make a play as well. So it's kind of a win-win in that regard. And they might be a little annoying for sure. They're definitely annoying, but not that big of a deal. But it's better that they focus on you than your DPS. Let me give you some advice, and I'm so sorry, but use the enemy support as practice. Mantis is free, Luna is free, Adam Warlock is free. Rocket and Loki will give you some trouble, but at the end of the day, they are easy elims to get as Cap. Force cooldowns, move frequently and consistently, take advantage of people being out of position or running away, cause staggers. Do this and you will see what I am talking about. If you do this, you will force the enemy backline to acknowledge you, and if they don't, you just get a free elimination. If they do acknowledge you, then your team is able to advance and make a move. Like I said, it might not always show up on the scoreboard, but what you do in that backline and what you do as Cap will always have a ripple effect if you do it correctly on in the game. Two more points I want to make before I wrap this up. One, if you're not getting elims, you are essentially feeding, and there's really no point in then playing them at all. Practicing quick play, but it is important that you do get the elims on the support. Just doing that damage and just poking at them it's not enough. You do need to get your eliminations, absolutely. And then secondly, I do not recommend you play him as a solo Vanguard, because you do essentially leave your team and you are kind of playing your own game. So it's very important that you have another main tank with you to support your team and tank the front line. Thank you so much for watching the video. Like I said, this is just my personal experience. This is what worked for me. While I do have Captain America the Lord and he is my most played Vanguard, I do not by any means know everything. So if you have anything that you don't think I said that was correct, or you want to agree, or whatever the case may be, feel free to comment down below. This channel is going to be doing way more Vanguard content, so subscribe for more of that. And this has been my Captain America Masterclass. I hope that this helps you better understand the character, if not persuades you to play him more often. I do think he's strong. Season 2, he's only going to be stronger, and it's going to be even crazier. So I'm looking forward to that. But regardless, this has been my Captain America Masterclass, and I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next video.